morning on building an inclusive Canadian workplace. So what does it mean to be in an inclusive workplace? So this workshop is designed specifically for you, tapping into those that either have not engaged in the workforces yet, are newcomers who are looking to learn more about the Canadian workspace, and also are just to get additional information.
Sorry to interrupt you, Danielle. Sorry to interrupt you. My student wrote to you. Can you speak a bit slower? Because they said
no problem at all.
Because you're talking so fast, they cannot catch everything. Okay.
No.
Okay, thank you.
I'll speak slower for sure.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And Ramona, I can't see I can't see the class. So if anybody has any questions, please just jump in and interrupt, okay?
Okay, so no need to raise your hand. Just tell her, excuse me, and you can ask the question. Okay? Okay, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Olena, do you have a question, Olena?
Yes, I have bad sound.
Oh, you can't hear me very well? Okay, I'll turn up my speakers here.
Because you're echoing a bit, as if you're in an empty room, Danielle?
Okay, I will see what I can do about that, but give me a second here. Let me see if I can make that a little better for you guys.
Is this a little better?
Is this better, Olena?
I don't. Better, Raimona? You?
No, not me. Her. I'm not doing the presentation. Her. Is her voice better now? Can you talk, Danielle, please?
Say please something.
Hello. Hi.
Oh, yes, better.
Yes, beautiful. All right, that's what I like to hear. Okay, no worries at all. So I'll just go back and share my screen, and I'll ensure to speak slowly. All right, so we are here.
I will put in your pocket, okay?
Okay. Perfect. Okay. And everyone can see my screen again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. So now I can actually see everyone, which is good. So as I was saying, so this is a workshop on building an inclusive workspace. So what does it mean for us to be in an inclusive workplace? One of the things we need to remember is Canada is made of a lot of diverse people, and you're going to encounter some of those people in the workspaces as well, okay? All right, I seem to be having some issues with my sharing screen here. Give me a quick second. My apologies, everyone. Just give me a second here. This is not working very well for me. Let's try this again. Ramona, I'm just going to exit and come back in because I'm getting some glitching. My apologies. Just give me 2 minutes and I'll join back in, okay? Thank you. This again. All right, so I have shared my screen. You all should be seeing my presentation.
No, you took it off again.
Yes, just give me a second. I'm just here right now.
Is the voice better, Olena?
I think yes.
Yeah.
The voice is better? Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay. This is going to... What? Okay. And just to confirm, can you see just my slide? You see speaking notes as well?
Oh, the sound is glitching.
Oh, no.
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah.
Okay. Can you... Better?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Can you see my slides, Ramona, or are you seeing my speaking notes as well?
Yeah, we're seeing your notes as well.
My notes as well. Okay, so I just need to go into presenter mode. Just give me a second. See anyone? So if you have any questions, please just jump in and ask the question, okay?
For sure. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, all right. My apologies. Always some technical issues.
Yes.
So I'm just going to do the introductions again, just because I know some people also joined while I was having some technical issues. So again, my name is Danielle, and I am the Chief Program Officer with the Ottawa Community Immigrant Services Organization, and we provide settlement services throughout Ottawa to newcomers, immigrants, international students, work permit holders, so a range of different statuses. So this workshop, Building an Inclusive Canadian Workspace, is basically, I'm going to be presenting to you for the next hour or so. We are going to be looking at some practical exercises. We're going to do some activities. Because I can't see you, usually I would get you to do a thumbs up, but you can use an emoji. Or you can just jump in, okay? So we did the tech check. So you guys can see my screen, you can see me, and you can hear me well, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. If there's any other technical issues throughout, you just let myself or Ramona know. Okay. So today's agenda, let's look at what are some of the things that we're going to review today. So we're going to be looking at welcome and introduction. And then second, I'm going to get you to introduce yourselves so we can learn a little bit. I can learn a little bit about you. I know that you guys have probably spent some time together, so you know a lot about each other. We're going to be looking at what is workplace inclusion. We're going to talk about some Canadian workplace values. We're going to discuss some communication styles, inclusive language, how we deal with challenges, and then we'll end off with your rights and responsibilities in your work, in your jobs, when you're dealing with your colleagues and when you're dealing with your boss. Okay? All right. So I'm going to start us off by just getting to know each other and seeing, when I saw you guys join, I saw that it was a very diverse group. So in the chat, if you can share with us, if you're comfortable, your country of origin, so where you're originally from, don't be shy. And again, if you cannot, I can't see you, so if you want to just unmute yourselves and share with us, that would be great. I can start us off. So I am from Jamaica. I was born in Jamaica. I was born in the main city, which is Kingston, Jamaica. Okay. Would anyone like to jump in and share?
Let's start by turn. Aman? Oh, Chuni?
Hi.
Can you, introduce yourself, please, Chuni.
Hi. My name is Chuan Yi. I come from Taiwan, and I came to Canada last December. Yeah, and and I'm
Thank you.
great to join this meeting because I want to know more about the Canadian workplace and more about how I can to work continue. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that, Shwini.
Dalal?
Yes, teacher. I'm Dalal Al-Jurani. I'm came in Canada 22/5/2023. I'm from Kuwait, but my country is Iraq.
Okay, nice
Hanan?
to meet you.
Hanan? Okay, Julia?
Hello, my name is Hülya. I am from Turkey.
Okay.
I've been in Canada 19 years.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Inyas? No, Inyas? Okay.
Teacher.
Yes, Inyas.
Yes.
Inyas?
My name is Inyas Generis. I come from Haiti. I arrived at Canada in December 2022.
2022. Okay, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Manal?
My name is Manal. I am from Palestine. I came to Canada. I came to Canada 2 years ago.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Marcia?
Hello, my name is hello.
Hi.
Yes, we can hear you, yes.
My name is Marcien de Bonheur Kaliel Atema. I'm from Central Africa Republic. I came to Canada last March for 2025.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I'm married and logistic manager.
Okay, great. That sounds like an amazing job. Thank you so much for sharing.
Marwa?
Hello, my name is Marwa. I am from Iraq. I came to Canada in 2019.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Welcome.
Olena?
My name is Elena. I'm born and lived in Ukrainian. I came to Canada 2 years ago when war started.
Welcome. Welcome.
Roblin?
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Robilyn. I'm from Philippines. I came here December 25, 2024.
Hey, welcome. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Nice to meet you too.
Rolia?
Hello, my name is Rolia. I came from Myanmar, Burma, so I have been in Canada 7 years. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Shaista?
Yes. Hi, I'm Shaisa Nuri. I'm from Afghanistan. I came to Canada on July 2023. That's it.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank
you. Nice to meet you.
Svetlana?
Hi, my name is Svetlana. I am from Ukraine. I came to Canada in March 2024.
Hey, welcome, Svetlana. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Hello. My name is full name Thuy Phương Vinh. I came from Vietnam. I came in Canada 5 years.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well. Thank you.
Aman?
Yes, teacher. Hi, my name is Amal Abdullahi. I came to Canada 2 years ago.
Welcome. Thank you.
Hanan, are you here or not?
Yes, teacher. Yes.
Okay, introduce yourself, please.
Yes. My name is Hanan. I'm from Morocco. I came to Canada 2 years ago.
Hey, welcome. Nice to meet you.
That's all.
Okay, perfect. All right. So we have a very, very diverse group. If you listen to some of your fellow students, they're from all over. We had in different continents as well, right? So one of the things when we're talking about workplace inclusion, so looking at the definition of workplace inclusion, it means that everyone feels welcomed, they feel respected, and they feel valued at work, okay? It doesn't matter where you come from or who you are. Everyone should have respect in the workplace. They should be able to be treated fairly. They should feel that they belong, and they should also feel like they have a voice. Meaning having a voice, meaning, you know, if you see something that you don't like, you should feel comfortable bringing that up with your colleagues or bringing that up with your boss, okay? So we're gonna move on. Okay, so I just have another activity for us. And again, we'll take maybe 2 or 3 people. So you just shared with us where you're from. So different countries, different places. We need to understand that different countries views respect in other ways, right? So in your home country, maybe if you can share something, how do you show respect in the workplace? So I can start us off with an example. So in Jamaica, one of the ways that we show respect is when our boss enters a room, we stand up to greet our boss, okay? So anyone that is above us, we would stand up to greet them when they enter a room. Does anybody else have anything that they can share about how you show respect in your home country? No? Okay. So another one that, do I have somebody that's sharing?
Yeah, can I share something?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Please, thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I like your question. In my country, we respect everyone. Like shake your hand, bow down a little bit, bow your hand, and then respect, like stand up, and then say something good word, you know. So just for us is respect the elderly, like a boss or like a teacher, like your parent. We respect a lot in my country. And at work, we respect the boss or the leader. We have to bow a little bit, your head a little bit, like that. That's a respect. So we are very respect each other, you know. So they care the staff, we care our office, or we care our leader, all elderly, we respect a lot of elderly.
Yes.
Country, yeah.
That is such a great answer. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you're absolutely right. Like, I know that in some countries, it is impolite when you look someone in their eyes, when you make eye contact. Whereas in some other countries, they don't want you to make eye contact. You should hold your head down. So there's different ways in which we show respect in the workplace or just in general in our everyday lives. Before I move on, is there anyone else that would like to share how they show respect at work in their home country?
Yes, Shaista, go ahead.
Please, go ahead.
Shaista? She changed her mind, maybe.
Okay.
Move on.
No problem. All right. Maybe she'll jump in after. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that answer with me. All right. So every country has different, like we just talked about, how they show workplace inclusion. Every country also has values. Does anybody know what a value is? Can anybody tell me what a value, what do they think? What are some values that are important to you? So I can start. Being respectful is a value that I hold very near and dear to my heart, which means that I am always respectful to others. And I also expect others to be respectful to me, okay? So a value is something that you hold very near and dear. It's something that is very important to you, that you use to make decisions and to guide yourselves throughout your life, okay? Does anybody else have another example of a value that they can share? No? Okay, that's it. Oh, do I have someone?
Amal.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, my values are respect, kindness, and being generous.
Oh, I love it. Those are some great ideas. Thank you so much. Great, great values. So in Canada, we look at these values that we have on our screen here. Let's go through these in details. And these are just some very basic values that are expected in your workplace, okay? So being on time, punctuality. It's important that you're on time for work, on time for your meetings. Very similar to how Ramona expects you to be on time for your classes as well, right? And if you're not going to be able to make it on time, then we need to make sure we communicate that. So if you're going to miss a class, you would email or message Ramona and say, "Hi teacher, I'm not going to make it in today." With your workplace, it would be the same thing. So then we're looking at the next one, which is direct communication. Saying what you mean politely and clearly. Does anybody have any ideas why direct communication would be important in the workplace?
For understanding each other?
Yes, absolutely, for understanding each other. Because when we don't have direct communication, sometimes things might get a little confusing, right? Sometimes we may say things or others may understand something that we said that we didn't mean it that way. So it's very important to use that voice. And as newcomers, sometimes we get shy, we get nervous. We may feel that our English is not good enough. We may feel that we're new in the workplace, so we don't want to speak up. But it is very, very important, because the other thing too is that you don't want someone to take advantage of your situation, right? So it's important to speak up politely and clearly. Teamwork. Teamwork is another really important one. We can't do anything in a work setting unless we're working as a team, okay? We worked as a team this morning, for instance. I worked as a team with my IT so that I could figure out the issues that I was having with my system. If I didn't have good teamwork, I wouldn't have been able to go and get support from that person, okay? Equality, so everyone is treated the same, no matter your gender, no matter if you're male, female, no matter if you are born in Canada, you're not born in Canada, no matter if you're the boss or you're not the boss, everybody should be treated the same. Taking initiative and taking action and suggesting ideas, also very important. Because you want to make sure, again, it kind of ties into when we're talking about direct communication. We want to make sure that our voice is heard. And, you know, sometimes you may miss out on opportunities because you don't speak up, or you may have this really amazing idea in your head and you don't speak up, and then that idea just gets lost. Okay, so taking initiative, and then making sure that you have a work-life balance. Who can tell me what a work-life balance is? Maybe I'll start by explaining, and then you can share with me how you, some of the things you do to ensure you have a work-life balance. So a work-life balance is really just ensuring that when you leave work, you are taking care of yourself. So personal time is respected, personal time is needed. You need to kind of shake off the day, do your home, and then go back into the workspace, okay? So one of the things that I like to do to ensure I have a work-life balance is I like to read, okay? So sometimes I might go to the bookstore, I might get a coffee, go to the bookstore, you know, look around at some books, and that really is really good for my mental wellness. What are some things that you do for self-care that would help with a work-life balance? What are some good things you do for yourself that makes you feel good?
Vacation days.
Vacation days. Even if you're not going anywhere, you're not doing anything. Thank you. That's such a great answer.
And the flexible hours.
Yes. Flexible hours, really, really important, right? We, you know, we're parents, we have little ones. Sometimes, you know, they wake up, they have a runny nose, and we just can't make it into the office on time. So flexible working hours is really, really important as well, okay? Anything else that you do for self-care that would help with your work-life balance?
Me, I like long walks and connect with the nature.
Oh, beautiful. I love it. Can I ask you a question? Do you like long walks in the winter?
No.
No. Yes.
No.
Yes, I agree with you. I also love connecting with nature, but I hibernate in the wintertime, much like those animals that go to sleep for 6 months and don't wake back up.
Same here, yeah.
Yes, absolutely, for sure. Okay, thank you all for sharing those ideas. Those are some really great ways in which we can ensure that we have a work-life balance, okay? All right, so we're just gonna move on. Okay. So we talked about using our voice. We talked about, you know, respect. We talked about direct communication. So now let's look at some ways that communication can help or not be so helpful in the Canadian workplace, okay? So we talked about direct communication, which is saying what you mean clearly. You're not making people guess what it is that you have to say. If you don't understand, you're asking. If you disagree, you're saying so politely. Being direct, we need to remember, does not mean being rude, okay? Some people get that a little confused sometimes. We still use please and we use thank you and we consider other people's feelings, but we're directed in what it is that we're asking for. Small talk is also very important. And that could just be, hey, how was your weekend, right? I heard that you were going to a show. How was the show? Like small talk in the mornings with your colleagues that really builds those relationships. You know, before meetings, you could talk about the weather, kind of like we just talked about as well. Your weekend plans. Maybe you engaged in a sport or you did something with your family. These are ways that we can communicate. Active listening is also very important. So we talked about making eye contact might not be culturally acceptable in some places, but in Canada, making eye contact is usually seen as something good, okay? So you're speaking with someone, you're engaging with them, and you're making eye contact. Does anyone have any questions for me before we move on? Okay, perfect. All right, so let's look at some of the do's and the don'ts of communication style.
Sorry, Landry has a question. Yes, Landry?
Please, jump in.
Hello, teacher. My question is for the thing to do.
Yes.
It's just for this one. It's just for Canada or for all country, because for some countries it's not good to make a contact when you're speaking.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know poly in English. It's not poly.
Polite.
Not respect.
Yes.
Example, in my country, if you speak something, you speak with your supervisor or your some person superior, you cannot make a contact because it's not respect. It's not
exactly. Yes.
polite.
Yes.
I don't know. This it's just for Canada or for all countries.
This is for
The second
Canada.
question, use first name after introduction. Use, in my country, if you have the superior, you cannot spell the name. If your superior, this name is Landry, you cannot spell Landry, no. If he is your director, you say director. Best director and after and you can spell his name after director Laundry, supervisor Laundry. You cannot
yes
spell laundry. It's not good in my country. I don't know.
Yes.
Difference.
Great question. Great question. Thank you for asking. This would be for Canada. Right? So this would be communication styles in Canada. And you're absolutely right. We need to understand that some cultures views communication, they look at communication very differently. So you're right. In some countries, you would say, good morning, teacher. You wouldn't say good morning, Ramona, good morning, Danielle. It would be good morning, teacher, good morning, director. But in Canada, that is not something that you need to do, right? Now, just to make something clear, depending on the workplace that you're in, maybe that is how your boss wants you to address them. And you will learn that through meeting with them when you get hired. But these do's are specifically related to the Canadian workplace. Okay, does that answer your question? Yeah.
Landry, does it answer your question? You're muted,
sorry,
Landry.
sorry. Yes, teacher.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
You're
thank
very
you for your answers.
You're very welcome, Landry. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have our do's. And can I get someone to read out the do's for me and then another volunteer to read out the don'ts?
Who would like to read? Shaista.
Communication styles in Canada. Do. Use please and thank you. Make eye contact when speaking. Listen without interrupting. Ask questions if you don't understand. Use first names after introduction. Don't. Avoid eye contact. Interrupt when others speak. Be too formal or too casual. Pretend to understand. Use titles unless requested.
Thank you so much for that amazing reading. Thank you so much. So we see, there's some things that they tell us that we should not be doing when we're communicating in the workplace. Okay. So one of the things we need to remember as well is that it is okay to say, "Can you repeat that?" Or "I don't understand." And I'm going to tell you a story. When I first started working, I believed that if you showed your bosses that you didn't understand something, it showed weakness.
Let me mute him 1 minute.
So if you asked any questions or asked your boss to repeat something, it showed weakness. But the thing is that, would you rather pretend to understand something and get it wrong, or get the clarification and get it correct? Right? So we do need to keep that in mind, that if you don't understand something, you need to ask for clarifications. I don't understand, or could you repeat? Okay? All right. Okay. So let's go into some scenarios so we can all practice talking to each other, okay? So I have some scenarios up on the screen here. The first one is your coworker, Maria, always eats lunch alone. She speaks English with an accent, and some team members don't invite her to coffee breaks, okay? What would you do? What would be the inclusive thing to do? A, B, or C?
Yes, Dalal?
I think B, and to be here to join you for coffee.
Absolutely, great. So yes, the inclusive thing to do to make sure everyone feels respected, everyone feels that they belong, would be to invite her for a coffee, okay? All right, I have another scenario for you. It's not up on the board, so you'll have to listen clearly. You don't understand your colleague's instruction for a task. What can you say to them?
Amal?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Okay, so a colleague is giving you some instructions on a task, and you don't understand what they're asking you to do. How would you respond?
I would say, sorry, please, I don't understand.
Yes, absolutely. That's amazing. Anything else that we can say that would clarify? Maybe we can specify the specific part of the instruction that they gave us. So can you please explain again, especially the part about the report? Okay. So again, asking them to repeat, asking for further clarification is very, very important. All right, so one more before we move on. Your manager asks if you can work overtime tonight, but you have a family event. What do you say?
Olena?
Sorry, I can't.
Yes, that's pretty much, absolutely. That's pretty much what we're trying to, yes, no, I can't. I have a family event that was scheduled before this. maybe you can give them the option of, can I help another day? Or is somebody else available who might be able to help? Okay. So this goes back to your direct communication that we talked about earlier, but it also goes back to having a voice, right? Some people, fearing that they may get fired, their boss will be upset, will probably still try to work the overtime because they don't want to upset others. Okay, so just remember that you do have a voice, and you use that direct communication while still being respectful. But great answer. Absolutely. No, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
In my home country, we don't use in every sentences please, thank you. We don't use all sentences. For us, very important what I do and how I do. Canada more polite.
Yes.
More polite.
You know what? I think around the world, Canada is known for its politeness. You're absolutely right. Canadians are very, very polite. They don't want to hurt other people's feelings. So using please and thank yous is also good. But then there's also times that some people overdo it, right? Like, I don't know if you've ever met somebody where every time you have a conversation with them, they're like, oh, sorry, or, please, please, please. So we want to do it in a respectful way without overdoing. But you're absolutely right. In some countries, please and thank you is not something that is practiced. And, that's something that Canadians have to learn as well, because they may think that you're being impolite, but you're not. It's just not a culture that you're used to. So thank you very much for sharing that. That's a very important part. Great. Does anybody else have anything they want to add?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
If my manager asks me to make an extra time and I cannot, I would like to know if I have to give the explanation why I cannot.
Absolutely not. Definitely not. Yeah. You do not have to give an explanation. You can give an explanation if you would like to, but legally, you do not have to give an explanation. It's if they ask you, because what we need to remember is they're asking you to do something outside of your regular scheduled time. Okay? So if you work 9 to 5 and your boss comes and says, can you stay until 6 o'clock? Because we need to get this done. And you can't do it. You can absolutely say, I'm sorry. Or, I won't be able to support with that today, but I can support on another day. Okay? So no, you don't have to give an explanation for that, even when you're calling in sick, right? And this is a lot of times people get confused about this. When you're calling in sick, you're entitled to those sick days. You do not have to provide an explanation. I'm calling in sick today because my tummy is hurting, because I have a headache. You don't have to give those. What you could say is, good morning, Danielle. I'm not feeling well today and I'd like to request a sick day. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. Okay, so, communication, we're looking at that. Now let's look at inclusive language. And these are just examples, right? And one of the things that we need to remember that things are always changing with communication. Some things that might have been okay 10 years ago, now is not okay. I'm going to give you an example. I am very much of the type of person when I'm communicating to a group, I will say, okay, guys, let's get together. Let's do this. But some people do not want to be included into the, hey, guys, right? So in this situation, I would say, hello, everyone. right? Because guys is considered a masculine. It's considered something used to describe a man, right? So they may not want, I'm not a guy, et cetera, et cetera. So instead of that, we can say, hello, everyone. Another example is instead of chairman, you can say chairperson. Instead of something like, where are you really from? You can say, how long have you been in that country? And as newcomers, as racialized people, you get that all the time, right? Someone will come up, well, where are you from? And then they're looking for the country, regardless if you're a Canadian citizen, regardless, they still want to know what is the country that you're from. And again, instead of asking that, because that's also very personal, how long have you been in Canada? Another one that I used to get a lot is, your English is so good. Which in a way it's, how did you expect my English to be? So instead of that, you can say, thank you for explaining, like you made it so clear to me, right? We need to remember that language has power, okay? Language has power. So the words we use can exclude people. Even though we don't mean to, we need to remember that when we are using specific words, they could either make someone feel good and included, or they can make someone feel bad and excluded, okay? So when we say person with we don't say a disabled person, we say a person with a disability, okay? Keeping in mind that the person comes first, okay? Using they, them, if you're unsure of someone's pronouns, which is becoming very, very common in Canada. 5-10 years ago, this wasn't a thing, they, them. But now we are trying to be more inclusive with our language. So if we don't know someone's pronouns, they, them, or if someone has clearly explained their pronouns, she, he, him, her, etc. Asking, how do you pronounce your name? Don't say, that's a difficult name, okay? If you're unsure of someone's name before you even engage with them, one of the things that I like to do is I also use humor. So, hey, can you just say your name for me? I just want to make sure that I get it correctly, okay? Saying something like that. Again, saying, I don't understand, can you explain? This shows engagement, not weakness, okay? We want to remember, when we're asking for help, it's not because we are weak. It's because we want additional information to get our task right, okay? All right. And when in doubt, just ask respectfully. So people prefer when you ask rather than assume wrongly, okay? All right, so moving on. So sometimes we face challenges in the workplace when we are trying to, advocate for ourselves, when we're trying to do the right things in the workplace. So we need to remember we're staying calm, taking a deep breath, and you're not reacting immediately, okay? Politely speaking up. We talked about direct communication. We talked about having a voice. I don't feel very comfortable with that. So if we were to use the previous example where your boss asked you to stay late, and you said, no, unfortunately, I cannot. And your boss turns around and says, you need to stay. You have to stay. Right? You're going to politely speak up and say, I don't feel comfortable with you demanding that I need to stay. So again, speaking up and having your voice, okay? Documenting is also really important. So writing things down, who, what, where, when, and then get help, right? So you have your supervisor, you have HR, and you have your union representative. So for those HR means human resources, and they're the ones that are really in charge of making sure that the employees, their rights are being respected, that they're being treated fairly in the workplace. So remember, you have the right to a respectful environment, and it's not okay for anyone to discriminate or harass you. Before I move on, I'm going to take a pause there just to see if anyone has any questions.
No questions.
Beautiful. All right. So we just kind of talked about speaking up for yourselves. We talked about if you have challenges, how to discuss these. So in terms of your rights and responsibilities, again, in the Canadian workplace, this is very important. In Canada, you have legal rights. Discrimination is illegal. Can anybody give me an example of discrimination in the workplace? Just some ideas off the top of your head.
Anybody?
Okay, so an example that I can use for myself in terms of discrimination in the workplace is if I felt that I was going for a new role. Maybe I wanted to get promoted, and the person that I was applying, they chose somebody who may have been, a different skin color than I am. Even though we have the same background, we have the same education, am I being discriminated against because of my color? My skin color? Am I being discriminated against because of my ethnic origin? So we need to keep those in mind when we're looking at discrimination in the workplace, okay? We have things in Canada called protected grounds, okay? Protected grounds, this means that these are things your employers cannot discriminate against. So race or color, your skin color does not determine your ability, your national or ethnic origin, so where you come from, they cannot discriminate against that. Your religion, you can practice your faith. Age, you can't refuse to hire someone because they're too old or they're too young. Sex, gender, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Family status, right? If you have kids and you're applying for a job and you mention that and they're like, oh, we don't hire people with kids. They can't do that, right? If you have a disability, employers must accommodate the different disabilities in the workplace, okay? So if someone is discriminating based on some of these things that I just mentioned, you can file a complaint with what's called the Human Rights Commission. So just remember that you have rights, okay? Now, one thing that is very important, not getting a job doesn't always mean you are discriminated against. Employers can still choose the most qualified person. So we need to be cautious. It's not, oh, I didn't get that job. It's because I'm a girl. I'm a woman. That's why they didn't hire me. But you see multiple other women working in the organization. So it's important. Sometimes when we don't get jobs, obviously nobody likes to be rejected. Our feelings get hurt. But it's important to note that not getting a job doesn't mean discrimination, okay? Now, can I get a volunteer? Oops, I'm going too far ahead. A volunteer to read your rights and another to read your responsibilities on the screen for me, please.
Me?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. Your rights and responsibilities. Your rights. Safe workplace free from discrimination. Equal pay for equal work. Religious accommodation. Speak your language during breaks. Report problems without punishment.
Perfect. Would you like to read your responsibilities as well?
Who would like to read the
Okay.
responsibilities? Let's give a chance to others.
Me to share.
Olena.
Your responsibilities. Respect all co-workers. Learn workplace safety rules. Communicate professionally. Report discrimination you see. Help create inclusive environment.
Beautiful, you got it. Environment, you got it. Thank you so much.
Environment.
Good job. Thank you to both my volunteers. You did amazing. So just remember that the Canadian Human Rights Act protects you from discrimination. And as somebody living in Canada, whether or not you're a new Canadian or you've been here for many, many years, it is really important that you know about these laws that are put in place to protect you. So, maybe going online and reading about what the Canadian Human Rights is. I know that in some of the classes, you guys will cover that. If you're doing prep classes for your citizenship, they do talk about the Canadian human rights, but it's important that you know the laws in Canada that protect you from discrimination, okay? Okay. So we've talked about communication, we've talked about values. Now let's look at what are the benefits of an inclusive workplace, right? And why does inclusion matter? We keep hearing this word inclusion, diversity, equity. But what do they mean? Like they're great words, but we need to understand the specific meaning of them, okay? So why does inclusion matter? Like inclusion benefits everyone. It is not just for the workers, but it's also for the employers, right? So as an employee, you feel valued, you feel respected. It's a better job satisfaction, right? You don't wake up in the morning and you're like, oh God, I have to go to work, right? You wake up and you're like, okay, I have to get there. I have to go to work. So you feel better about yourself. There's also opportunities for growth, okay? You want to make sure that when you're in your job, you don't just stay one place. You're continuing to learn and you're continuing to gain new skills. Because at the end of the day, your workplace is taking from you, right? So you need to be able to take as much from them as possible. And that's by learning lots of different things around you. For the employers, obviously, there's great assets to them when they do make their workspaces inclusive. So they have higher productivity, which means that staff are working quicker, they're working faster, and they're happy. When staff are happy and they're comfortable in their workspace, they are going to perform with more productivity, right? They're attracting the best people, right? And it's better for innovation as well, for growth. If you want your organization, if you want your place to grow, inclusive workspaces is very, very important. All right. Okay. So let's practice inclusive responses. Okay. So scenario 1, if I can get someone to read scenario 1, someone else to read scenario 2, and another person to read scenario 3. And because I can't see the chat, let's just shout out our responses, okay? Oops. All right. So anyone to read scenario 1 for me?
Anybody? Yes, Shaista.
Yes. Practice inclusive responses. Scenario 1. A. college makes a joke about someone's accent. How would you respond? Scenario 2.
No, scenario 2, let's give a chance to others, okay?
We'll get some answers for, thank you very much for that reading. We'll get some answers for the scenario 1 before we go into scenario 2, okay?
Okay.
Awesome, great job. So a colleague makes a joke about someone's accent. So how would you give an inclusive response to that? How would you respond? Anyone?
Amal, do you want to respond or you want to read?
Read, teacher.
Landry, respond or read?
I respond.
Respond. Okay, great, Benji. Awesome.
Go ahead.
For me, I don't think it's appreciated to make fun of someone's accent. And everyone way of speaking reflect their backgrounds and culture. Okay?
Yes.
And that's something we should respect and appreciate.
Perfect. Absolutely. I completely agree. Thank you so much. That's a great response. And if I was that colleague, Landry, and you, someone was making fun of my accent and you responded like that, I would feel very supported by you, right? I would feel that I'm working in an inclusive workspace because I had one of my colleagues that basically stood up for me or, you know, politely explained how inappropriate that joke was. Okay? So thank you very much for that answer. That's amazing. All right, so I will do scenario 2 and then I'll get another volunteer for scenario 3, okay? So someone uses an outdated term for disability. So remember we said it's not a disabled person, it is a person with a disability. So what would you say or how would you correct that situation if someone was to use an outdated term? Yes, please.
Kautar? Dalal, sorry, Dalal.
Yes, teacher. We can say a person with a disability. Yes.
Perfect. Yes, absolutely. So you could correct them and say, you know, we no longer use that term. We now say person with a disability. Because you know what? It could also be that that person doesn't know, right? They don't know that the term has been changed. So now you're not only correcting, but you're also educating them, right? You're teaching them something. So thank you very much. That was a phenomenal answer. Thank you. All right, can I get a volunteer for scenario 3, please?
Roblin?
Scenario 3, a new team member's name is difficult to pronounce.
How would you handle this?
Chuni?
I will ask her, him or her to repeat the name again, and then I will repeat also. Yeah.
Okay, yes, absolutely. So when they repeat it, you repeat it right after to make sure that you got it correctly, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. I love it. That is such a phenomenal way to handle that situation. Good job. All right. Okay, so we're gonna move on to what's called microaggressions. Okay, so understanding microaggressions. So microaggressions are small comments or actions that can hurt even when they're not intended to hurt, okay? So some examples of that is, again, your English is so good, okay? So that implies it's almost like that person is surprised that your English is good. So that a little bit of a microaggression there. You don't look disabled, right? Making an assumption. Touching someone's hair invades their personal space. These might seem small, but imagine facing them on a daily basis. They can add up, right? And it could be like, it could seem so heavy when you're going into this workplace and you're feeling that every comment or action has a little bit of sting to it, right? That does become, after a while, why would you want to go into work on a daily basis to deal with that? So how do we avoid these things, right? So we're thinking before we speak and ensuring that, is this something I would want someone to say to me? You're not making assumptions. You listen when corrected and don't take offense, right? When we have sometimes, even a minor correction that you give to someone, they can sometimes take that as, you think you're better than me. But when someone is correcting you, when you've done something, it's important to listen. Educating yourself is also very important. One of the things that I like to do is, if I don't understand something, I go online. Google becomes my best friend. I go online and I research it. I look it up and I read as much as I can about that, okay? So impact matters more than intent. What that means is you may not have intended to hurt with the comments that you've made, but they were still impactful on that person you made the comment to. So even if you didn't mean to hurt, if you did, you need to apologize, okay? Right. Has anyone heard the word ally before?
Please, I have a question.
Yes, absolutely. Would you like me to go back to the previous slide?
No. Yes.
Oh,
Please.
yes. Okay. No worries. Okay.
Okay. What's the difference between microaggression and intentional discrimination?
Okay, so a microaggression, that's a phenomenal question, by the way. Thank you so much for asking that. So a microaggression would be something, you know what, and to be honest with you, they could very well be interchangeable. A microaggression is when you kind of have to think, right? What are they trying to say? Like, if you look at some of the examples, your English is so good. Sometimes people could be like, oh, thank you. But then what do you mean? Why is my English so good? Why shouldn't it be so good? Right? So I used to get that a lot. Like I migrated to Canada when I was a teenager. I went through school in the Canadian system. So I picked up on the English, but you speak English in Jamaica. It's just a different dialect, right? Similar to Haiti, how it's Creole, but it's a different dialect of French, right? So intentional discrimination is when they don't even, they're not even trying to hide that they're discriminating. An example of an intentional discrimination would be, trying to think of something. For instance, your hair, you should not wear your hair like that to meetings as it doesn't look very professional, right? That is intentional discrimination. If someone is saying, oh, well, you can't be good at math because you're a girl, that is intentional. Mind you, I'm not great at math, but it's not because I'm a girl. It's just because I don't like math, right? And then those microaggressions are just those little small pieces where it makes you think like, are they being rude? I can't really, are they where you have to more think about it, which is why they call it micro, right? Like it's little pieces that people slip in their daily communication with us, where the comments and the actions can hurt. You're eating lunch. Let's use the example of, I believe it was Maria that we talked about earlier, was eating lunch by herself. Maybe it's because Maria is of a different culture or a different religion and they didn't want to eat with her. That is an intentional discrimination. Okay?
Okay.
Does that answer your question a bit?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. You're very, very welcome.
Olena?
Oh, we have another one. Okay.
Yes, I want to say Canadians tell me, example, in the store, on the street, your English is so good, not bad. I think it's support, not microaggress.
Okay. So you see that more as support.
Yes,
Okay.
I think for me it is the best way. Yeah.
Yes. And you know what? You're absolutely right. It could be they're being supportive. They learn about you and they learn that you've been in the country only a short period of time and you've done your very best to learn the language, right? So it could also be something of support. I think what we need to do is make sure that we're looking at how and where it is being said, right? So context. Somebody at the store, when you talk to them, they're like, oh, your English is so good. Like, that's so amazing. You've been doing your pieces. That sounds more of support, right? Where somebody comes to me and, oh, your English is so good for somebody that's only been in Canada for, a year. That might be a little different. That one might sting a little bit more than somebody that's being supportive. But you're right. The lines are very, very blurred, which is why they call it a microaggression. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So we were talking about being an ally. So an ally is someone that supports and stands up for each other. So you might have heard a lot about allies when we talk about, allies to, the LGBTQ demographic population, or allies when we're looking at racism, right? Anti-racism. There might be people that are considered allies. So allies, again, they support and stand up for others, especially when they're facing discrimination. So they listen to the experiences without judging or comparing to their own. They're speaking up against biases. So if they see unfairness, they're ensuring that it doesn't, they speak up about that. They're learning continuously, right? Learning the different cultures and the different experiences. So they can also advocate and support and uplift intentionally. And they support their colleagues, right? So you don't have to be perfect to be an ally, but you do need to, again, small actions, they matter. And standing up for someone, it does make a difference. So think of one way that you've been an ally this week, and can you share that with us? Maybe I'll get 2 or 3 examples of how you've been an ally this week. Oops. So a way that I've been an ally this week is, trying to think of how I've been an ally. Okay, so I had one of my colleagues is not very comfortable with public speaking. So he had to do a presentation, but he had to be standing up in front of a large group of people to give this presentation. So how I was an ally is I asked to be up at the podium with him. And one of the reasons that he didn't want to go up is because his language is English. He feels his English is not very good. He's been discriminated against before regarding his language. So I was an ally by being present when he was doing his presentation. Okay. Anyone else can share how they might have been an ally this week, or if you have an example of how you've been an ally in general. Nothing? Okay, all right, we'll move on. All right, so we talked about when we have conflict, how do we manage different conflicts and how do we resolve conflicts in the workplace, okay? So we have, we're staying calm, we're taking a breath, we're not reacting. Remember that conflict is not about winning. Conflict is about coming to a decision that everyone agrees on, okay? We're listening, so understanding the other person's view. That is not always easy to do when you think that you're right. It's a very, very perfect example of this is when I'm talking to my sister, when we're having arguments, right? I might think that I'm right, she might think that she's right, but at the end of the day, I need to try to understand where she's coming from. It's the same thing in the workplace, okay? You have to understand the other person. You have to be fair and understand where they're coming from. So you're focusing on facts, right? So discussing behaviors and not personalities, finding common ground. So what do you both want? At the end of the day, what is it that we're trying to accomplish? And then we can look at focusing and sharing common goals. And get help if needed. Again, HR is there to protect you. HR is there to support you. So involving your HR or a manager when necessary. How's everyone holding up? Everyone still with me? Yes, we're good?
Yes. So far, so good. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. We're getting there. Ramona, just to maybe I'll ask, do you take breaks during this or should I just go ahead?
No, go ahead because
Okay, perfect.
we were supposed to take it at 10, but they were excited. No,
Okay.
no worries. No worries. Keep up. I'll let them leave early as soon as you finish, okay?
Awesome. Okay, we only have a few more slides to go, so we're good to go.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Another part of the workplace is team meetings. Okay, so we want to talk about team meetings. They're very important in Canadian workplaces. Your participation is always valued and expected. So one of the things that you want to do to make sure you're prepared for your team meeting is, make sure that you're reading the agenda before you go into the meeting. Think of questions that you want to ask. Prepare your updates. When you're in the meeting, take notes. Make eye contact with the speakers, nodding to show that you understand, okay? Speaking up, so contributing, sharing your ideas, asking questions, right? I like to tell my staff members sometimes that when we're in a team, you're not furniture. So you're not a table, you're not a chair, you're not a laptop, you're not, I expect you to add value and speak up when we're in these meetings. It shows engagement. If you if you think that your English is challenging, what you can do is you can prepare notes in advance, okay? Ask for clarification and follow up by email. My favorite thing to do after a meeting is sending a follow-up email so that everyone understands what was discussed in the meeting and there's no confusion, right? In your virtual meetings, it's important that you try to keep your camera on if possible and mute when you're not speaking, okay? This will bring us into virtual meeting practice, which you guys are all really, really great at because you've been doing this for your classes, right? Raising your hand to speak, using the chat for questions, muting when not speaking, So raise your hands if you learned something new today. So let's practice raising our hands. And I can't see, so I hope everybody's raised their hand.
So far, no.
Oh, okay.
Please raise your hand. Wave for me. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay,
Shumi,
awesome.
Soy, Dala,
Great.
Svetlana. Yes, they are.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm happy to hear that we learned something. Another thing that's really important in the workplace is social events, right? So you might have a team building exercise, a holiday party, a team lunch, birthday celebrations, after work gatherings. So social events are important because it does help build relationships, but they should remain inclusive and professional. So participation is usually optional. It's important that dietary restrictions are respected. Conversations should be professional. And just note that it is okay to leave early. If you go to a work function and you're not feeling like being there, you can respectfully, I'm going to head out. Or also, it's okay for you to decline, unless it's a mandatory participation, okay? You are not obligated to attend work events, social events, unless it's specifically stated by your manager and your workplace, okay? All right, so this is a very important topic that I want to discuss with you. And this is about workplace accommodation and your rights, okay? So employers must provide reasonable accommodations for disabilities, so modified equipment, okay? So for me, for instance, I have a standing desk, right? So there are times when, I've been sitting for too long and I need to stand up. So I have one of those desks that raises. One of our amazing students earlier mentioned flexibility in scheduling, which is so important. An accessible workspace. So there's different things that can make a workspace accessible. Maybe you need 2 monitors, right? Maybe you need to ensure that you have proper shoes because you might have issues with your feet. So there's lots of things. Sometimes your workplace might request a doctor's note, but if these are things that you've been working on, your doctor shouldn't have an issue providing that, okay? Religious need, so prayer time and space, religious holidays, and dress code flexibility. So in my organization, every building has a prayer room or a quiet space room so that staff can use at any time that they need during the day. Family status, so you're entitled to parental leave, right? So we have maternity and paternal leave, flexible hours, also emergency leave you're entitled to. So for these things, it's important that you're speaking to your HR privately or your manager to explain your needs. And when you have a workplace accommodation, no one needs to know other than you and HR. Sometimes your manager doesn't even need to know, depending on what that accommodation is, okay? So an example, for instance, if for the prayer room, you're going to be clear about your needs, provide the documentation if needed, but how we can look at communicating is I need to pray at 1 p.m. daily. It takes 10 minutes. Can we arrange my lunch break then? So asking for an accommodation is your right. It is not a favor. It's not like they're doing something to help you. Yes, they are. However, it is a right. So don't be shy to ask about your needs. Now, we need to keep in mind the word reasonable. So reasonable means that it does not cause any undue hardship to the employer. So small companies might have limitations. So in a smaller company, you might come to your boss and ask for the ability to work from home 5 days a week. Some places can't do that. So remember that it needs to be, your accommodation needs to be reasonable. All right. Okay, so we're almost at the end. So I just wanted to look at some of the key takeaways that we had today. There were 5 important things that we talked about. We talked about respect and equality and how important those are for Canadian values. Everyone deserves dignity. We talked about diversity and inclusion, how it creates stronger workspaces, not just for the employers, but also for the employees, for the staff members. We talked about using respectful language and to be an ally. And remember that small actions make big differences. You don't have to go and change the world, tomorrow, but little baby steps. So small actions, they do cause a ripple. Knowing your rights. Discrimination is illegal. You can seek help if you need, and asking for help when you need it. Accommodations are available and very, very normal to ask, and it is your right. Okay? All right. And then just some key resources in terms of if you want to learn more about inclusive workspaces. You have your government resources. Again, we talked about the Human Rights Act. It's important to read up on that. Employment standards, you can go and read up on what does it mean to be an employee in Canada, and also Accessing Service Ontario, who has a lot of information as well. Learning programs, so your LINK programs, your ESL programs, settlement services, and job search workshops. And I know that some of my colleagues are going to be coming in to do some more job search related things with you guys, like resumes, cover letters, interviews, and things like that. And then just some links to OCISO if you wanted to send an email or if you needed additional services, you're more than free to contact us. Okay? And that's it. You are ready to thrive in the workplace. Thank you very much for participating. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see all your beautiful faces. That did not work. Give me a second. There you go.
Thank you. It was great.
Thank you. I'm so sorry about the issues earlier. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can also share your questions with Ramona. I'm not sure if anyone has any questions now. I know that we're a little short on time, but I really enjoyed spending the time with you this morning, and I hope we got some valuable pieces from the workshop.
Yes, Shasta?
No question, but thank you so much for interest for your interesting conference and subject. It was so useful, but unfortunately I couldn't be completely at class, and I'm sorry. Before I shared my internet problem with my teacher, I want to thank you for your efforts.
Oh, thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate that. I had a wonderful time with you guys. You guys were so engaging. Thank you for having me, Ramona.
It's always a pleasure. Yes, Dalal has a question. Yes, Dalal.
No question, teacher. Thank you for your good information, and we learn a lot. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. No worries. And
Shani?
Hi, thank you for your introduction. I just want to know if I want to know about the naming program like job search workshop or something settlement service. We just look at the website. We can find all of the information. Is this live? Is it?
Absolutely. Yes, you can look at the website. I'm looking on how to, but I think Ramona also has my email. So if anybody has any questions, you can, Ramona, you can provide my email to them. But absolutely, yes. So you can job search workshops, settlement services. If you need support with any of those things, you can give it to, we can support you with that.
I'm sorry, but I don't have your email.
Oh no, okay. So I'm trying to find the chat on here and I can't.
It's at the bottom, I, then the people.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, no, that's just.
Do you see it at the bottom, these lines next to the waffle shape?
Yes. Oh, there we are. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to put my email here for you all. And Chun-Li, please just send me an email and I will direct you to the necessary people, okay?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your help.
No worries. Thank you all very much. Again, I really enjoyed spending the morning with you and I wish you guys a great rest of the day. Stay warm.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, I hope you have benefited from this presentation. Did you like the topic? Yes or no?
Yes, teacher. It's good information. Yeah.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Very interesting, yes. But what shocked me,
it's very good.
What hurt me is when she asked you to introduce yourself and you were doing the wrong verb tenses, the wrong prepositions. Like, for example, Svetlana, introduce yourself, please.
Okay, my name is Svetlana. I'm from Ukrainian.
No, not I'm from Ukrainian. I'm from Ukraine. You are in Ukrainian, but you are from the country Ukraine. Continue.
I'm from Ukrainian. You are in Ukrainian.
No. What I meant, you don't say I'm from Ukrainian. You say I'm from Ukraine.
I'm from Ukraine.
Ukrainian. Украина страна. Ukraine.
Yes, I understand, teacher.
Then,
Ukrainian. Ukraine.
Yes, then tell me about Canada. When did you
International, it's Ukrainian. It's country. International.
Country, Ukraine, international, Ukrainian.
Nationality.
Nationality.
International. Nationality, you are Ukrainian, but you are from Ukraine. Yes?